3 standouts from Browns minicamp. This is from Dawg Pound Daily. Number 3, depth, and more depth at wide receiver. Number 2, the Browns safeties look much different. And number 1, it's a recurring theme, DeShaun Watson, confident and ready to win. And, you know, he just even sounds more comfortable. But, you know, the wide receiver depth and the safeties, those were 2 areas that were they needed upgraded. And points to Andrew Berry because he went up and upgraded them pretty substantially in addition to that D-line.
Yeah, you know, I'll go in opposite order. I think one of the things that the safeties have not gotten that much credit for what they've done in that back end. Juan Thornhill has come in with a winning attitude. He's come in with understanding how Andy Reid, understanding how Patrick Mahomes playing in AFC Championship games and Super Bowls. You know, he brings a certain level of, hey guys, I've been here before. If y'all trying to get to where we want to go, this is the way we got to go about doing it. McLeod is, I think, a really sneaky signing. He's a really sneaky signing because he's going to be a guy, he's a little long in the tooth, but at the end of the day, he knows what Jim Schwartz wants to run. And he has a process. Like, he knows what it is. And one of the things that I really like with this new safety room, and you can include Grant Delpit, who I think is probably the most talented back there, played well in the second part of the season, is they're not going to have all those missed assignments. Ronnie Harrison, undisciplined play, always seemed to get a pass interference, late hit. If the interception was in his hands, he's dropping it. Face mask penalties, you know. And John Johnson, for better or worse, you know, you came in and you were one of the highest paid safeties in the league, and you didn't look like you had confidence. The secondary didn't have confidence in you getting them lined up correctly. They just didn't. Denzel Ward and Newsome and all those other guys, they didn't have any confidence. It was times where we watched the Cleveland Browns and you would gasp like, oh my goodness, are they going to get lined up? Because you know how they used to do. They'd be back there confused and looking at each other and where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? It was my guy. Is this your guy? I'm like, man, you guys are scaring me, man. And then, you know, so that looks like that's squared up. And I love the fact that it's depth in a receiver. And I don't want to get nobody in trouble. I don't want to just say this. First of all, let me get this out of the way. I like what Donovan Peoples-Jones has done for his career. He's a 6th-round pick. He's a guy who went to Michigan, highly touted, was a guy who has made himself a very solid pro in this league. However, sometimes as the Cleveland Browns organization and fan base, we tend to overestimate the worth or what the prowess is of the guys that are on our roster. And I like Donovan Peoples-Jones. I'm hearing this stuff like if they get DeAndre Hopkins, Donovan is going to ask for a trade. I say he's not in no position to ask for no trade. Look, hey man, I ain't been a starter at 92.3 The Fan, but I ain't asked for no trade. I ain't starting. But at the end of the day, you take the opportunity and work with it. You work around that. So, you know, Donovan Peoples-Jones is in a contract year, and the thing I love is good depth. I love the fact that you got guys who are all hungry. I love the way Goodwin talks. When he told the story of his sister not being able to walk and just praying every single day that she could get up and walk, knowing that she couldn't. And he talking about what's a hard day. That's a hard day. Like that man is hungry. You talk about Anthony Schwartz. Look, Anthony Schwartz is a 3rd-round pick. He knows that he got to catch the football. It's do or die this year. You talk about Donovan Peoples-Jones. This is a contract year. Amari Cooper, they already done told Amari Cooper, hey, you get $22 million this year. They ain't bringing you back. Amari Cooper, like, how you gonna tell me you didn't bring me back? I had $1,200 last year. What if he want to throw up $1,300? That's kind of hard to get rid of. I like the fact that everybody on this unit got something to prove, and they got to do it this year. And you'll be surprised when you got that pressure on you. You'll run through a brick wall because you understand, hey, time don't wait for no man.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Donovan Peoples-Jones is going to get a second NFL contract. Not many 6th-round picks get that. So he has had an outstanding first couple of years, but I'm with you. We need to see what we don't know what he's going to be yet, and let's see what he becomes. The other thing that in listening to the defensive players talk early in minicamp, This is a much simpler defense, which is like, thank you, Jim Schwartz.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Just let me play fast. Let me go out there. I caught this on video. They were doing get-offs. They were working on their get-offs of the football. And I like the fact that you had Myles Garrett on the left end, Zadarius Smith on the right end. And for so many years, we've seen Myles Garrett. I go out to practice. He's dominating every drill. There were never no realm of possibility where Myles Garrett wasn't going to compete and win inside the defensive line. For the first time, I'm seeing him take some L's. I seen Zadarius Smith get off the ball. He said, I said, that's one. Y'all doing the best of three? Myles Garrett came back, got in their stance again. They getting ready. Zadarius Smith wins the entire rep. So now that small little competitive things, those things that are driving you, I want Myles Garrett to say, I want him for one time to look up in the stands and look up in the statistics and say, Zadarius Smith got 4 more sacks than I do? Unacceptable. I got to get it going. Before, you never had that. There was never a realm of possibility where Myles Garrett was threatened in production and he was going to play second fiddle to anybody. For the first time, you got guys in there that are just as hungry as he is. No one is as talented as he is, but they got some guys in there that can rush the passer. And I love the fact that it's all competition with Jim Schwartz and how he's moving up front.
And the big winner in all that competition is the team, which is the bottom line and what you want, without question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then comes us.
That's right.
Hopefully it's us. We need the payday too. I want the trickle down theory. Trickle it on down to us.